Hey guys, here's the drawing for the C1 Spinal Nerve IVF. It's going to ask it as the spinal nerve. He's not going to say, occiput C1 IVF. And that goes for all the other ones too. So just imagine here that C1 is coming out of there, like so. All right, let's start with the labels first. First, you want to make sure you have your C1 superior articular process going up there into that corner. Your groove or sulcus for the vertebral artery. Make sure it goes up there and contacts there. Your arcuate rim, again, make sure it comes up and contacts. And just don't get into this space in here. Just make sure you stop directly at this line, like so. Capsular ligament, you can come down in like that. Posterior atlantal occipital ligament right there. You can just draw into it. That's not too tricky. But the one that a lot of people get tripped up on is this one. For your occipital condyle, just make sure you go past this line right here. All right, because that is, the condyle is the actual articulating portion. So if you don't, you're merely just pointing to the feature on the occiput, not the actual condyle itself. All right, so those are the labels. Let's go over how to draw it really fast. So I usually just start with a nice kind of rounded off box like that. It doesn't have to be anything too special. Put the anterior tubercle about halfway up in the center there. And then for your posterior arch, again, just make sure it's roughly about the same level as your anterior tubercle. And I go out, down, up, and back. Like so, and just bring it in a little bit. Now you'll be doing this in pencil, pen if you're brave, but you need to get rid of this line right here. So you just erase that. That way you don't have to worry about proportions. It makes life a lot easier. Okay. Next, I usually just do the condyle, so I just start way back here, drop it down, come back up, and back out. You do your capsular ligaments next, just 1 and 2. And while I'm doing the simple lines, again, I just remember the posterior tubercle back here. Next, another line would be the line that is basically giving you the joint space. So we're kind of appreciating this recess inside of C1 where the condyle sits. A lot of people mess up and they'll put the line on the inside here, which essentially means nothing. You're just drawing a dent in the condyle. It's not actually showing any kind of anatomical thing. You have to realize this is basically kind of looking at a lateral X-ray of this area. So you're kind of seeing this is the superimposition of the condyle inside the lateral mass. So just to visualize, this is all occiput out here, right? And then your C1, it's everything out here, like so. All right, and then this space, you have to imagine, is all filled with synovial fluid. Remember, it's a diarthrosis joint, right? So it has synovial fluid. Last but not least is we have to do our posterior atlantal occipital ligaments. So there's only 3 points of contact that you need to have it on. Obviously draw on more, otherwise it looks a little weird, but you have to make sure it strikes right here. You have to make sure it strikes the capsular ligament right there. And you have to make sure it strikes the side of the lateral mass right there. Okay? And then you just fill in your lines so, and then do your labels. And that is the C1 Spinal Nerve IVF.